Yeah, tell us more about the test and what you saw.
Yeah, so today's test was great. You know, I've been crashing cars for the better part of 15 years now, and today was amazing because of the live driver. That's the first time I've witnessed a live driver, and it was my design, so there was a little added anticipation there. So the noise, I'm not sure actually. I'm trying to think if I don't know. It was a very loud pop. Yeah. It was a very loud pop. The sand coming over, that was a really cool a hit at the end, you know, the sand shifting, and so it was a great impact. I was just happy to see everything work. The tapes pulled out beautifully. The brackets held just like we wanted to. For the most part, the truck stayed center, and right there at the end, you know, it pulled a little bit, but he stopped safely, and he stopped almost exactly where we expected him to, so it was a good day.
What were you looking for technically around like the GoPros and the hardware?
Anything engineering. So when we run a test, there's so much valuable data you can get. You know, you can measure speed of the truck, you can look at how things interact dynamically. There's a lot of stuff we can't calculate mathematically. So a lot of roadside safety design is experience and testing. So you just go out, see what happens. So we had GoPros all down the line, looking at nets, looking at brackets, looking at the behavior of the canisters, all kinds of things. Even the driver, we had a GoPro on the driver just to see his reaction and how hard was the impact, how hard was the stop when he finally hit the wall, just all kinds of things. We can take that data, and the next trap we build, we can build it even better.
So what would you do different with what you've seen?
You know, this trap was unique in that it was a retrofit. So we didn't have a lot of options to go in, and we didn't have our wish list to just do exactly what we wanted. We had to make an existing system, take parts out, add new parts in, and make it fit. So there's some things, the slots aren't needed in the wall, so obviously we would change that. We would just pour fresh concrete. Maybe the bump outs are a little bigger next time, but overall there's very little I would change about this system.
Was anything performed better than you were thinking?
I don't think so. I think everything performed exactly how we would like for it to, and really and truly, we kind of anticipated the stopping point. It was right on where we wanted. So there's not anything I would change about the test today or the design we have.
Talk about how that was maximum speed, maximum weight for this pass too.
So I know that this pass is rated for 60,000 pounds, and yeah, so the Teton Pass here, they have a weight rating of 60,000 pounds, so that's what we selected for this truck. We used a dump truck that was rated for that, and we wanted the driver to go as fast as he was comfortable, and so we selected a speed of 60 miles an hour, so he felt safe. And then also we're loading up the nets, and you know, we impacted 4 nets, deployed half of the system, and it's roughly half of what the system is rated for. So we were expecting to hit 4 nets and use them, and we did. So we got a great, from an engineering perspective, a great test on the system.
Talk about the net. Just do that again. I changed the shot.
On the nets? Yeah, so going into this, we had done, so last night we sat down with the driver, and we ran some engineering calculations, figured out based on his weight and his speed, his target speed, how many nets we expect him to impact, how far he's going to go into the system, and kind of explain the system to him so he felt comfortable with everything. And today's test was beautiful. We expected to deploy 4 nets. We deployed 4 nets. We expected him to go between 150 and 170 feet into the system, and I don't remember the final number, but I think it was right in that range. So everything worked exactly. I mean, I won't say perfect, but as close to it as you can for a crash test.
And the walls always have a influence. Just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and the bump outs work great. You know, that was one of the things we were testing. We wanted to be sure that the driver was channelized to the middle with the bump outs, and then if a net pulled him one way or another, the bump outs would push him back to the middle before he hit the next net. And that proved to work really well. So he hit the first net, centered up, and then for the most part stayed center all the way up until the end. I don't know what it'd be.
The GoPro, maybe just talk about why we have so many angles, because I'm going to show some of these.
Yeah.
And how it helps you.
Yeah, sure.
Smell of brakes.
Yeah. They said they call that Teton perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah, after the test, it was great. We were down at the end of the trap. We could hear YDOT cheering up on the hill just that it worked. Of course, we were excited that everything went well, the driver was safe, and so it was great to see YDOT's reaction and that they're happy. So ultimately, we'll save a lot of lives with this trap working properly, and obviously, it's we want to make good use of taxpayer money and keep YDOT happy. So I believe this trap is roughly $100,000 to reset if they were to take out all of the nets. So all 8 of them. Yeah. So roughly today, I would expect that it was a $50,000–$60,000 worth of equipment that had to be replaced. The test was well worth it, because what we did was we've proven a system, the retrofit works, and hopefully this will instill some, you know, give some encouragement to the community that this does work. You know, the truck drivers will have faith in it, that we've done our due diligence in repairing it.
Just the GoPros, what does help you with? We had like close angles on some of the hardware.
Yeah, yeah. So we deployed roughly a dozen GoPros today, as well as some high-speed film and some drones. And so what we were looking at, we had some close-in shots on some of the brackets that mounted to the wall, some of the brackets between the canisters that attached to the nets. We even had some GoPros on the nets attached to the vehicle themselves looking down, because we want to see how does that net interact with the vehicle when it hits it? How do the tapes and the canisters interact as they pull out and the truck moves down the trap? And so that's all great engineering information that we can use to improve the system, make it work for tons of profiles of trucks, small trucks, cars, large trucks, tractor trailers. So all that video footage is great to have just from an engineering and research perspective.
And who spools up those spools with the metals? Does someone do that custom?
Yeah, so the canisters are manufactured by a company called Impact Absorption, and they take a special tape material, they band it up really tight. They're 200-foot sections, and then those are housed in the canisters, and that's what gets pulled out as the truck moves down the trap. As that pulls out, that absorbs energy, and that's what brings the truck to a controlled slow stop.
How safe is this compared to the old systems? Just something general.
Yeah, well, the great thing about this system is, number one, it's on the right side of the road, so you can enter it. It's not like a gravity trap where you have to go uphill. A lot of times on those you have to cross traffic, and so if you have oncoming traffic and you're runaway, you may not be able to hit your target. The gravel traps, although they work well, they're very difficult to reset by getting the truck out. You essentially have to dig the truck out. And so today what we've been able to do is hit the truck roughly at noon and reset the system before YDOT leaves by the end of the day.
Took my question.
Oh, I did? Okay. Which one?
The one about the how does it compare, you know,
The others?
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about just the,
That is just cool.
Yeah.
It's just damn cool.
and the physics compared to that.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of a technical thing. Like this has just so much more to it. Than,
Yeah, you know, this trap, it has so much technology, and you wouldn't really realize that just driving by, seeing the nets and the concrete walls. We've been building concrete walls for a long time, right, on the roadside, so you're used to that. But what you don't think about are all the little intricate details with how the tape is paid out of the canister, how the nets interact with the car, how the brackets allow the canisters to move up and down with the truck. There's so much technology in this system compared to like a gravel trap where the truck just sinks down in gravel or sand, or you know, going up a hill. You're just using gravity to slow the truck. And so this is really cool from a technological standpoint. My name is Michael Bracken. I'm a structural engineer. I have an engineering firm that specializes in roadside safety designs. A structural design firm, and we do roadside safety testing, design, and development. So we help companies bring products to market. We help companies solve problems if they have them. And in this case, that's what happened. We had the incident that happened in 2009 with a shingle truck where the truck was lighter, almost half the weight, or little less than half the weight of what this system was designed for. And that truck got all the way to the end of the trap. And then we had a second incident where a truck went all the way through. So my firm was hired to see if I can help come up with a solution to solve the problem and help YDOT implement a retrofit that would take care of these issues and instill confidence back in the trap. So with that, we over the course of 2.5 years, we did a lot of small component testing. We did some vehicle testing. We never tested a live system until today. So we had our live driver, he hit the system, it worked beautifully, and that was great. But all of this was primarily developed with small scale testing, and then maybe a net or two where we would hit a car into it at lower speeds just to see how everything works and make sure that our design was good.
And what about the driver? Have you used him before and stuff?
I have not. No, we've never met the driver. Found him on Google. He's primarily does commercials from what I understand, and he's a professional stunt driver, and so it was great. We came up last night, looked at the trap, looked at the truck, and I think his first words out of the car was, "This is cool." So it was exciting to hear.
That's great. Unless you can think of something we didn't add to it.
No, I never know. There's always. So the primary difference between this system and the old one is that you had the slots and the canisters that pay out the tapes, the energy absorbing tapes. They fit in those slots, and they could only rotate in one plane. So what would happen is a truck would hit the net, pull it down, and that tape, as it would be pulled down into the canister, it would tear. So the solution to that was this new innovative bracket that we've developed where it sits in a slot, and as soon as a truck hits it, it pulls out, and then it's free to rotate left and right, up and down. So that's really the technology behind how we solve the problem of the tapes failing. And then the bump outs just keep people from scraping down the walls. A lot of drivers, they like to hug the concrete wall because they think it will slow them down, and that's not true. So the bump outs just help keep them centered through the whole trap. Right, and
We're going to show everything.
yeah. So the previous system, it was just 20 foot between two straight concrete walls. The canisters mounted in the slots. And a lot of times what would happen is trucks would come in and they would hit the left wall or the right wall, and then they would switch. And what that would do is take out one side of the material, and then they'd switch and take out the other side of the material. So this system, we added the bump outs where the concrete tapers down from 20 foot to 14.5. So that covers our wide load trucks, and then chokes the truck down to where he hits dead center of the net. So now the energy absorber on the right and the left are pulling equal, and it keeps that truck right down the center, and everything works like it should when we're able to do that.
Did you hear about the Tacoma that went in? Really?
Yes, the Tacoma.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thankful that we saved somebody's life, and as well as it eased my nerves. But, you know, we had a live hit before we did this demo, and so it was great to get the photos from YDOT and see that first net worked exactly how we had designed it to with a small truck. So we designed this trap for 18-wheelers primarily, but we know we're going to be catching smaller cars and trucks, and so it's great to see that even the Toyota Tacoma, we were able to stop it safely.
many hits do you think it gets in a year? You know, like how many trucks?
I think this trap, since I've been involved, it's been hit 3 or 4 times just in 2.5 years.
And I remember they used to come all the way down to Wilson and hit that building. Tommy's trucks.
And the salt shed, has
Yeah.
been hit several times.
Yeah.
So
Wilson will be relieved now too. Right?
yeah, and my understanding is they want to add a second trap on this pass further down the hill. It was kind of contingent on this demo working, so.
Maybe give me just a statement about that. I think in the future, now that we saw this test work, we'll probably put another one down below.
Yeah, sure. So hopefully after this demo, you know, we've proven a concept that it works really well, and now this may lead to future development, you know, future traps further down the mountain, maybe on the Idaho side, as well as other areas of Wyoming and other states. So we've got a great demo showing how well this system works.
That's great. That's great.
Maybe they're done now too.